I've done a lot of podcast episodes about we do not want to discriminate against somebody because they have a mental illness, because there's already enough stigma about mental illness that we don't want to say, oh, well, you have this issue. Because I am very open about my anxiety. I would hate for somebody to say, oh, she's got anxiety, I don't want to talk to her.
Sure.
But it's about what we don't understand, and what a lot of women don't take into consideration is they might have a diagnosis of mental illness, but what are they doing about it? Are they making excuses about it? Do they have insight about it? Are they actively working towards healing that or doing something about it? Or are they externally focused and blaming everybody else for their issues? And so what you were doing in order to protect her was you're making excuses for it, right? You're making, oh, it's because she has this and that.
I thought I was like woke. I thought I was evolved in my own, when I say woke, meaning like, oh, I can understand this. But, you put that with recognizing from my own eyes, from her friends, from her exes, that she had multiple mental health illnesses. I'll say, I don't want to say issues. I'll say illnesses. It's an illness. But then you put that with self-medication and self-medicating with substances. And she wasn't a big drinker, but she would take medications when she wanted. Like, she would go to therapy once and then go from a psychologist to a psychiatrist to get a prescription, and whatever that was for ADHD or whatever that was. But she would smoke weed a lot, and like every day. And people don't even look at that as a drug.
Not anymore, yeah.
Or, and it is medicinal for many people. Personally, I don't smoke weed, but she definitely smoked every day. And that was something that if we had an argument, she could kind of get away with the fact that, oh, I don't remember I said that, because that's something about, I guess, smoking a lot of weed that people have like short-term memory loss or something. So that really affected our arguments because, whether you think it's a substance or medicinal or whatever, you're still physically altered in some way. And I have no judgment of anyone. I don't have judgment of anyone that does any substance, like to each its own. I just know my personal experience with an abusive ex that self-medicated in a couple of different ways, but that was one of them. And it was very convenient to not remember what she said or not have recollection of certain arguments because she was stoned.
Right. I mean, we're seeing there's a lot of evidence of Johnny Depp, for example, that he admits, I have an addiction. And he said, the only person I've ever abused is myself with my addictions. Not everybody that has a substance abuse disorder is abusive.
Yeah.
But one thing you did say is your love was fast and hard. And that's a narcissistic relationship right there, where there's a lot of love bombing going on. And then later on, there's a lot of gaslighting going on, right? Like you're making stuff up that didn't really happen, minimizing what happened. And what a lot of victims don't understand is this cycle of, there's a reason a lot of women don't leave abusive relationships, or it takes them a long time, because it starts out slow. It might start out with hurting your feelings with their words. It might start out with little lies, and then it escalates to physical violence. But there's always that reconnection where there's flowers and candy and I love you and I will never do this again.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then you fall right back into that cycle again, and it just keeps getting deeper and deeper.